So look, what up YouTube? Franchise History TV back again with another video. So look here. I've been wanting to make this video probably since Thor Love and Thunder was released. You know what? I'll take that back. Probably even before that movie was released. Probably after Doctor Strange was released. And it's a good thing I didn't make it, because now we have the announcement of Phase 5 for the MCU. But before I go into what I want to talk about, because what I'm talking about today is pretty much how the MCU is on a downslope. And some of the people are starting to, these fans, I should say these fans, the normies who are somewhat fans of this, are starting to realize that it's on the downswing. It's going down. But some people like to believe that's not true. But before we get into that, I usually make videos like this. I make commentary like this from time to time. I make film reviews, series reviews, franchise reviews, I should say. Hence the name Franchise History TV. And I do a lot of other stuff out here I'm not thinking of right now. But if you like all that stuff, you like the film reviews, TV reviews, commentaries, news around entertainment, then how about you first hit that subscribe button, it's free. 2, like the video. 3, share the video, and even comment down below. Alright, here we go. So this, like I said, I've been wanting to make this video for the longest time. And it kind of proves my point that I made early when I made this channel. It even makes my point to conversation I have with different people who have seen these movies, what's going to happen. And what I said is going to happen is coming to fruition. It's nothing really, let's say, I'm trying to think of the word I want to say. I use it all the time with people. Yeah, it goes. It's nothing really profound. I think most of the people who saw this coming, knew this was coming, and now some of them have been vindicated. Now they look right. But the MCU is on the downslope. It's not doing well. Thor and Love and Thunder, from what I heard, and I'll get into the numbers later, it didn't do well. Disney as a whole is not doing well. But here's some of the reasons that I decided to research. I ain't had to research it. I just know from common knowledge, from hearing about the different things that's going on within the MCU. Here's some of the reasons why I think it's failing. The number one big reason is the alienation of comic book fans. And what I mean by that, true fans who actually, and I hate to say this, but I don't hate to say it. The true fans who read the books, who've been reading the books, who pretty much probably stopped reading the books after the last 8-7 years. It's been a lot of alienation of comic book fans of Marvel and DC, but we're talking about Marvel here, but mainly Marvel fans. I, for one, haven't picked up anything new from Marvel in years. Like, I buy back issues from half-price books, or buy the whole novel. I don't say novelization, but the whole graphic novel of a certain storyline that appeals to me. But right now, Disney is doing a good old job of just alienating the fans by calling them all sorts of names. This is like the biggest one for Star Wars too. Calling them whatever is you can think in the book. Just trying to appeal to one actual group of people and still trying to appeal to all. That's their biggest problem right now. The normies, on the other hand, because they're appealing to normies don't know anything from Jack. It's not so much they don't know anything from Jack. It's when they try to use what happened in these movies as the Bible and try to tell you, oh, this is not what it is. No, this is not what it is. This is not what I used to read in the comic books. This is not what I know. So that goes into my next point. They're not staying true to the source material at all. Like, some of these showrunners for the MCU TV shows that come out on Disney Plus, I don't think they truly know their characters. Matter of fact, they don't know the characters. It's like they close their eyes and point at a name somewhere and they pick it and piece whatever mumble jumble they want in it. That's what it seems like they're doing now. Like they don't really know their characters. They just put stuff out there. It's incompetent writing. For example, now I'm guessing the Infinity Rings, because just a disclaimer, I haven't watched any of the Marvel TV shows. I don't want to. Plus, I had to get Disney Plus, and I do not. And people who have been on my channel to subscribe to me know I do not want to pay Disney any of my money. I'm done. So, if I have watched some of these movies that I'm about to list down below, it has because I bootleg them. Or I haven't paid for them. I got lucky and not had to pay for them. But if I had to pay for them, I ain't watching it. But anyways, incompetent writing. Like now they're using the Infinity Stones are basically worthless. Stuff doesn't make sense. They're getting too wrapped up into the multiverse, and I think it's writing themselves into the paper bag, contradicting themselves. And of course, the other one's forced agenda, which I talked about earlier. This forced agenda, this gender changing roles, race changing roles for characters. For a perfect example is, and people I know they're gonna scream and shout at this one, but I do not give a damn. The biggest one is probably the biggest one, which I would call the absolute stupidest decision, which doesn't make any sense, and people don't get this, is Falcon becoming Captain America. I know this is getting people's freaking booty hole tight, but look, these are the rules for comic book. Rules that we make as comic book fans. Batman should always be Bruce Wayne. Superman should always be Clark Kent. Spider-Man should always be Peter Parker. Captain America should always be Steve Rogers. Anybody else, this is including Bucky too, anybody else outside of that, they don't compare. They're not real. Like sure you have Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, even Damian Wayne, even Jean Paul, I can never pronounce his name, but he was Jean Paul, I'm just calling him Jean Paul Valley, who took over for Batman after his back was broken by Bang. They do not compare. Whoever comes in Superman's place, either his son or somebody else's clone, does not compare. Freaking Peter Darker does not compare to Peter Parker. And same thing with Bucky and I can't even Falcon. I can't even think of his real name right now. Falcon, they do not compare. They don't compare. Like Falcon should be his own actual character. That's why they created him. He should just get his own movie as Falcon. He does not need to be Captain America. They made a character that was black, perfect for African Americans to appeal to, and then they tried to basically replace a white character with him to be Captain America. Now, let that be the reverse. If you change the white man and make him be Black Panther, oh my goodness. Imagine the screams. Another one is too much source material. Not too much source material, but too much material. It's not taking enough time to breathe, watered down. It's becoming too watered down. There's too much coming out. Like they announced Phase 5, and it's too much coming out. Like, I guarantee they took a break because of what happened in 2020. But still, it's just too much coming out. And it's also, another point that's connected, it's no direction. Like I said, the multiverse is getting dumb. Using spectacle does not pay off. It may have payoff with No Way Home, bringing Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in. And William Dafoe to play Green Goblin and Jamie Foxx to play Electro. But you can't do that all the time. It didn't work in Doctor Strange, especially if you're gonna kill them. You're gonna kill Mr. Fantastic and Professor Xavier that quickly. It's just spectacle to get people in seats. They ain't doing anything, except for No Way Home. They actually did something. Characters are not interesting at all. You have to go back to use old characters, and nothing's really interesting after Endgame. Like, nothing's really getting me outside of the wokeness. Just keep wokeness out of it. if they wasn't being woke, it still wouldn't be interest to me because I don't think they know what they're doing. I think they're writing themselves into a paper bag. And even if they want to bring in people like Doctor Doom and Galactus and now they Black King the Conqueror, it's just not appealing anymore. It's not appealing because certain characters you want to see actually interact are not going to be there. Like Tony Stark, he's gone. There's not going to be no interaction with him and Doctor Doom or anything like that. Same thing with bringing in the X-Men. It's done. The thrill is over. And overall, Disney as a company, they have gone down the dark path. Well, what's happening in Florida with the grooming and all that other sort of stuff. Yeah. Trying to teach alternative lifestyles to kids who really don't need to know about that. Like, for example, Buzz Lightyear, there was no need for that to be in that. And then what made it worse for Disney is Chris Evans calling out people who probably would have, I don't think they would have saw the film, but people who can potentially see Buzz Lightyear, calling them out, calling them dinosaurs and ists and all kinds of stuff. That doesn't go well. So Disney's really going down the dark path. And look at the numbers here. I'm going to say them out loud. You can look this up on any website. So far, this is phase 5. You got Black Widow. Worldwide, made $379 million. You go up with Shang-Chi with 400, because I think more people was in the movie theater. But you go back down with the Eternals. This is worldwide numbers too, with 402 million. And then Spider-Man No Way Home, you go back up, you make $1 billion, because that was a more anticipated movie. And it wasn't so much of the stupidness that went on, because everybody wanted to see Tobey Maguire. So, guarantee you got that. And there's also less movies. Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, probably 900 million. Thor Love and Thunder, 600. Actually, 662 million overall. Equal all that up, it's only made $4 billion. But that was only a couple of movies, though, because they preferably going to the TV shows, which I'll get into next. I only see Black Widow, Eternals, and No Way Home, and Doctor Strange. One I already paid for. The rest I didn't pay for. Yeah. Anyways, I think out of all those movies, No Way Home was probably the better one. Doctor Strange was a letdown because you call it Doctor Strange, but it wasn't about Doctor Strange. Eternals was a bore fest. Black Widow was probably way past its prime. What I mean by that, that should have been made in 2016. And from what I heard, Thor Love and Thunder, it was just too goofy and too dumb. It was incoherent. Now, you compare those numbers with Phase 3. They got a little bit more movies, but you compare that with Phase 3, who had hype, who actually made better movies that didn't appeal to one group. You got Civil War and made $1 billion. Doctor Strange went down and made over 600 million. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 made over 800. Homecoming made over 800, which I hate that movie. Thor Ragnarok made over 800. Black Panther made $1 billion. And we knew that was going to make $1 billion. Infinity War made $2 billion. And then you go down, way down with Ant-Man and the Wasp, 600 million. Over 600 million. Captain Marvel, which I do not believe made freaking $1 billion. No. Fudge them numbers. Endgame made $2 billion. We all knew that was going to make a lot of money. Make sure these are worldwide numbers. And Far From Home, which I had another movie I hate, made $1 billion. And that was pretty much the beginning and the end, I want to say, around Captain Marvel. So Phase 3, particularly better than Phase 4. And I think it appealed to a larger cast, and you had hype around it going into Infinity War. Ratings-wise, Black Widow, 79% of Rotten Tomatoes. And I do not trust Rotten Tomatoes, but I'm going to use Rotten Tomatoes as an example. Black Widow, 79 million. I mean, not 79 million. 70%, 79% on Rotten Tomatoes. Shang-Chi, which I did not get the appeal to that movie, 91% on Rotten Tomatoes. Big drop with the Eternals at 47%. 90% with Rotten Tomatoes. No Way Home went up to 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. Go back down another 20% with Doctor Strange 2, I'm going to call it for now, 74%, and it goes down way more. Not as bad as the Eternals, but 66% on Rotten Tomatoes with Thor Love and Thunder. And pretty much for Phase 3, I think most of the movies were either in the high 80 percentile of Rotten Tomato ratings or 90s, high 90s or upper 90s. Like I said, the MCU is in a decline. TV shows are not doing as well as people think they are. Like, people can get all hyped with the spectacle, but if your writing's bad, it's bad. Like, Miss Marvel, I heard didn't do well. It's not doing well. She-Hulk probably won't do well. I think in terms of what people thought was the best out of the Disney Plus TV shows, probably Winter Soldier and The Falcon, I think. Probably next, WandaVision. Probably after that, Hawkeye. Or Loki. But those are not doing well. They're not doing well compared to, like, let's say the early MCU TV shows like Daredevil and Punisher. They're all fluff. They are. And even if, let's say for example, even if you want more proof, you can tell that the attitudes are changing with the MCU. If you look at, like, for example, YouTube posts, Instagram posts, Facebook posts. If you just search on there for a minute, most people are starting to get tired of it. And you realize it's going downhill. Some people will continue to keep denying it. There's no reason to deny it. It's not good. It's not good. They need to take a step back and decide what they really want. Which they probably already have, because what they really want is this woke BS they got going. But if you really want to make you some money, Disney, Marvel, maybe take a break. Take some time to reassess. Get the goofballs out of your company. And really make some superhero movies and film and TV shows. But that's likely not going to happen. That's why Eric July is selling out with his comic books as he can right now. Because people are tired of what Marvel is producing. TV, comic books, film. DC on the other hand, I don't know what they doing. It seems like they trying to correct themselves, but that's neither here or there, and time will tell. But if you don't want it, I mean, you, like I said, you can acknowledge it or you can ignore it. You can run from it. Destiny's all the same. It's not doing well. Disney is not doing well. If you want to believe that or not. But that's all I gotta say. That's my take on things right now with the MCU. Like I said, you feel free to disagree. You feel to agree. But I think the general census right now for most people, out of everybody who watches these movies, it's not going well. It's not doing good. But tell me what you guys think down in the comments down below, and I'll be back again with another video.